Hey, welcome to the Tolleson Mack podcast. We're still over here in Las Vegas, Nevada. This podcast is brought to you by Hoof Grip. They've joined the team probably 2 months ago. They've done a couple trailers for me and Brandon and a great product. Look them up, hoofgrip.com. I have the Yates with me. I'm going to say it that way. We have Shari Yates and her husband. No,
exactly. That's how it has become that.
That's why I did it. I was waiting all day to do that.
Yeah, for like 27 years, it's been Shari Yates, aka Hollywood's wife.
Right. So now it's Shari Yates and
Shari's husband.
The tables have turned.
Oh, they have. It's almost like you've bribed me to say something like that.
There might have been a bribe or two.
Maybe a bribe or two.
How'd you get this big room?
Well, you watched the clip earlier.
There's tricks to it.
You watched the clip earlier. I'm the stepchild.
Yeah.
So, Shari, we know what Hollywood does.
We're kicking off with me.
Well,
Brandon.
You're the show. We know what Wood does. What do you do? What did you just win?
Yeah. So I took second at the San Antonio Pro as a professional bodybuilder, which has been a lifelong dream. So I started at about 18 and decided I wanted to be a bodybuilder. And I didn't know I wanted to be a bodybuilder.
At 18, you didn't.
Gym. I joined a gym at 18 because I was dating this beautiful blue-eyed bodybuilder.
Not me.
It was not.
It was a different blue-eyed bodybuilder. And so...
So what you're saying is you have a type?
No, I do not.
Yes, she does, and it's not me.
But it's not blue-eyed. Yeah, anyway, so we'll be moving on. Anyway, so, I joined a gym when I was about 18, and this guy says, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to lose 10 pounds. That's my goal. I was like 128. I'll never see 128 again in this lifetime. And he says, all right, well, what do you want to look like? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And I pointed up to a poster on the wall, and he goes, that's Rachel McLish and Corey Everson. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, well, those are bodybuilders. And I'm like, well, then that's what I want to
Then
look
I want to
like.
be a bodybuilder.
Yeah. So it started with that. And then once I met him, this guy was raised to believe, seriously, Hollywood Don Yates was raised to believe he could fly if he wanted to fly. His mom is like the mom of the
I will
lifetime.
100% agree with you.
Yes.
Because nobody can recreate themselves and still be the same guy that you met.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Because you'll meet a guy that one day he's a cowboy and the next day he's a biker and he forgot about when he was a cowboy. This guy doesn't do that. He sings now, but he's still the bullfighter, right? The bullfighter that I met that lived in Buckeye.
Coming up the stairs. I'm like, are you Hollywood Don Yates? Or did you used to be a bullfighter? He goes, still am.
Still am.
I'm like, okay.
I can just sing too.
Yeah.
So I met him and he was like, hey, you can do anything. Why aren't you bodybuilding? Why aren't you doing this? Like, you're built for this.
She had a natural build. I was like, you should be doing this. And she's like, oh, I couldn't do that.
Oh, gosh, I'm too shy.
I'm not competitive, is what she said.
No, I was competitive.
She said, I'm not competitive. She goes, I won't run a race unless I know for a fact I'm going to win. And I go, yeah, you're the worst kind of competitor. I said, because you are going to train harder than anybody so that you not only beat them, but you're at the bar drinking a beer by the time they get across the finish line.
That's awesome.
I go,
I'm still cheering them on.
Yeah, I go, I'm not that kind of competitor. I'm the guy that if I show up and I lose that day, I'm like, wasn't my day. I'll do better tomorrow. Or I had a great fight and that guy just had a better bull or something, she takes second and is out in the rain running for 4 hours.
To get your mind right.
No, that's a true story.
Yeah.
Bakersfield, Pasadena.
No, it's Pasadena, California.
Pasadena, California. I did the Ironman Pro. It was back when I was amateur. And I took second or third. And I got up at like 4 a.m. and he's like, where are you going? I go, I got to go for a run. And I was gone for about 2 or 3 hours. And I just ran all of Pasadena.
In the rain.
Until I kind of shook it off. And I was like, all right, let's go. What's my next show? Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's mind power.
Yeah.
Right. That's getting yourself right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you were done with that and you had yourself right, was it just back to training? I don't know how the bodybuilding world works. You guys train, or?
We do. We have on and off seasons. So typically your on season's about a 12 to 16 week is kind of average for most people. Depending on age too, matters because I'm an older competitor. So you talk to girls that are in their 20s, they have like an 8 to 12 week competition pre-prep. You talk to somebody that's over, we'll just say over 40.
Over 40.
Yeah.
Over 40. They do a little bit longer, so skin has time to tighten up and you can look full and you look good. So off season is typically, you want to get into that? Off season. So many competitors talk about, oh, it's off season. I got to put on like 20 or 30 pounds. No, you don't. No, hear me now. Ladies, no, you don't. 20 to 30 pounds, you're going to gain what? 2-3 pounds of muscle?
Not even that.
You don't need
Not
to
even
put on
that.
20 or 30 pounds. Put on a little, maybe 5-10 pounds, so you have a little cushion when you're training heavy. Yeah. So off season, we get to kind of eat what we want. We still training stays the same. Your diet is the big difference.
So we had a guy on earlier this morning, I don't know, second or third podcast today, Colin Vaughn on. He came in, I think he's eighth in the world. He's roping the night over there, heck of a healer.
Over there at that little thing they
Did
call
that
a rodeo?
deal over there at the other Tolleson Mack or whatever it is. But he was saying, and it's kind of along the lines of what you're saying. So he's friends with a UFC fighter. He wouldn't say her name, but he said that when she was training and first starting out in her career, she never got knocked out. She'd get choked out or, submitted or whatever, but she could never get knocked out. Just had a strong chin, just born that way. But then she started partying a little bit when she wasn't training. Yep. So off season. Mm-hmm. When she wasn't trained, she'd party a little bit. And then she got to where she was drinking a lot and not staying healthy in the off season. And he said that then she would come back and get knocked out. And it was something that never had happened before. So 2-3 times of getting knocked out, she went to the doctor and he said, well, you're training your body to quit.
It's the mindset of a champion.
You're training your body to quit.
Mindset of a champion is you are all in. You are all in. Yeah. I'm all in or I'm not. And I think that's the big difference, with everything. Bullfights too. Yeah. You're all in. You're 100%.
I've been very fortunate in life that anything that I have tried, I succeed.
I don't know though. But if you try, there has to be more than a word than try.
Is
you know what I mean?
Perspective though, because what we call try is that.
Is everybody else going? This dude's all in.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's like I said, every sport I ever played, I was the best, and it came so easy. Bullfighting did not come easy. Like my athletic ability kept me from, getting hit and run over. And, I was great at getting around them, but I wasn't good at the job. And it really pissed me off that I was not great at something just naturally. And so, I was all in. I started studying, I would tape Mesquite Rodeo every Sunday night on a VHS, and then watch them back all day, all night, at one point my cousin was living with me and she's like, do you ever watch anything other than bull stuff? And I'm like, no, like I'm, I want to be the best at this. And so I watched everything I could. I went and fought bulls at every practice pen I could go to.
Estrella,
Estrella Park. We would fight, they would buck.
Did you just say Estrella?
Yeah. They would buck like, close to 90 bulls. They were close to 90 bulls on a Tuesday night. Yeah. And I fought every one of them. And then the next night, on Wednesday night, we'd go to Charlie Sampson's, and he would buck 40. The next night was Sackatoon, Arizona. And they would buck like 40 to 60. And then back.
Let's be fair for the people that are listening. When you say they buck 90 and they buck 60 and they buck 40, we're not talking about 90 PBR spinners in the latch. No. We're talking about 90. Well, in Sackatoon, they just gathered them.
Right. I was going to say.
Some of them probably got rope burns still on their horns, right? So fighting these are a little different than the nice little spinners.
Right. And everything, not everything, but, you had a lot, like PBR is not going to have a whole bunch of killers. They're going to have great buckers, but they're not going to have bulls that are going to, come hunt you afterwards. If they get bulls like that, they will ban them, because they don't want their guys getting hurt, so, but back in the day, everybody had hunters, they had killers. They had, bulls that once they bucked you off, they were looking for you.
Well,
and so
every Wednesday, Richard would buy a truckload of bulls at Chandler Sale.
Right.
The following Wednesday, we'd buck them at Lucky's and you'd fight them.
Right.
So, I mean,
Little did you know.
And you know, okay, yeah, this one's good. And this one's a dink. This
Right.
one's good. It would go back to the cell barn.
In a small pen.
Right. Right.
You know, that was steel and cable.
Oh, man.
You know.
Wait, can I just say what I'm hearing is not that different than me going out and running for like
No.
hours in the rain. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
and
like
that's
like his drive to be the best was no like you're pretty humble with I didn't win today. It wasn't my day.
Yeah.
he's full of
That's-
shit when he says that.
That's really but your drive inside is like, all right, I want to be the best.
And if I lost that day, I always did come back and win the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
especially
I think-
especially if it
Especially
was
if he was challenged.
especially if I was challenged by some asshole that played mind games in the locker room
that
and
can't look to the left or right.
can't
Right.
look to the left or right.
Yeah.
If he challenged me, then it was on, and
Daddy was coming back.
I would beat him.
My arena.
But it's the same mindset you see from a lot of people, right? I mean, you watch any documentary about Tom Brady, he'll tell you that. Any documentary, Joe Montana, he's going to tell you that. You know, any of these guys, in any of the greats that have played baseball over the years, it's the same thing. You're right, 100%. It's a mindset, you
Right.
know. And when you want to be the best at something, you're going to be the best. At
Yeah,
But in our minds, I'm going to try.
Right.
I'm going to
Yeah,
try.
I'm gonna try this.
I'm doing a fashion show competition next week. There's one on the 7th and one on the 14th. And I'm like, I'm all in, right? Because there's money on the line
Mhm.
and there's you won.
There's a you won
There's
on
a
the
you
There's
won
a
on the
you
line.
won on the line.
Yeah.
The money's kind of a nice perk,
Yeah.
but there's a you won on the line and I want to be the best. So am I practicing? Yeah. Am I like going through routines? Yeah. Like,
Has there ever been something, either one of you, has there ever been something that you were naturally good at, but you didn't have the passion for?
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, for me, like, it drives my wife absolutely crazy that I won't go team rope. Like, I don't have the passion to go
Right.
team rope.
if you haven't had the opportunity to see Brandon Shelton ride a horse,
Quick disclaimer.
tune in.
But, like that, okay. Like,
Yeah.
when I'm out there roping bulls or picking up broncs, oh, I love that. I have the
Right.
passion for it. I would do it every day for free anywhere in the world.
Right.
So picking up is more your thing than roping.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, like, when I'm clearing bulls,
Yeah.
like, I like roping.
Right.
But, like, when I'm team roping, my wife's like, look, it's the same thing.
Wait,
Right.
are you reliant on someone else though? Is that what
No,
it is?
no, not really. It's just
Like you don't want to be a partner.
I don't
I'm a
get
team
up
of
for
one.
it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm good. I mean, if something gets out, I'm very confident right here. If something goes
Right.
out running down the street, I could go catch
Yeah.
it. You know, but I just can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess
and
that's my question to you.
I
like,
was that way with every sport.
Yeah.
I was chosen to play on the United States Little League team in Japan against Japan in the Little League World Series. I was, on every all-star team in baseball. I was on, football, quarterback, like loved the sports. I mean, I loved them. They were fun and everything. And I was great at them, but I didn't have a passion. I didn't have a passion for them. And then when I found bullfighting at 15, it was like, oh, this is cool, because now I can be an entertainer and an athlete all at the same time. And there's a danger, that just gets the blood pumping. And so bullfighting became my passion and the sports went away. Like I was done. I was like, yeah, those are boring to me. I'm better than everybody at it anyway. So, this I'm not great at. This I got to work at. And so it's like I worked at it and got, great
That's
at it.
kind of how I feel about like picking up and roping bulls and stuff. Is I have to work at that.
More challenge.
Yeah, like team roping. I mean, and I'm not talking. I mean, I'll go team rope with my buddies or whatever, but I don't get really excited about it. Like Saturday morning, I'm not up at 5 o'clock wanting to go team rope.
But if you had to go gather up and go find somebody's
Let's ride.
bulls that
Let's
are out,
roll. Let's roll
I
right
loved, like you did that not too long ago,
Oh, yeah.
didn't you? You went down and
Yeah.
caught some bulls
Yeah.
or some cattle that
Exactly.
were down.
now. Mhm.
I don't, I'd have to ask you, like, is there something that I'm good at that I don't have the passion for? I just don't know. I can't think. I can't.
We're
You know
we're
what?
on.
The Bunny Ranch is not hiring.
They are hiring all the
They're
time.
hiring always. There's always a
I
building.
love him.
Greg.
His smile, I'm like, all day long, I'll talk to you, baby. All day long. Keep smiling at me.
I mean, that's the thing about her. I don't know what she's great at that she could have a passion for besides bodybuilding, because she doesn't want to step out of her box sometimes to see if she's great at something. I think she's probably like me, where she's probably great at everything she does. So far, she's been great
haven't
at
seen me play
everything
sports.
she's done. You know,
There's a reason why they made me like the softball manager.
well, I mean, she's not going to be a gymnast,
Right.
because she can't
Well, see,
tumble.
now I'm like, what?
No.
Now I'm going
I'm
to the
challenging
gymnast.
her.
I'm going to be a
I'm
gymnast.
Challenging her. No, I'm
myself.
just joking. Yeah, no.
Good thing we got this room.
seriously, like when she puts her
That's why we
mind
got
to
such a big
something,
room.
yeah, when she puts her mind to something, you're not going to stop her. She's going to succeed, because she's that.
We had that
As
conversation
I said,
early on.
As I said, she's not competitive. Bullshit.
Yeah.
So I started in 4-H. You've got a little girl.
Oh, yeah.
She's not so little anymore in 4-H and has been. That was kind of my first start. Like 4-H was like, I didn't know you only won grand champion.
Oh, yeah, no.
You only entered the round robin because you were the best of the best. Like that was just, and it was showing cattle for me, but that's what you did.
It's very rare that I miss one of Hayden's soccer games, but I did miss. She's at a tournament right now, and I obviously have to be here. But yesterday, she called me and she said, "Dad, I had a good game. So she plays. She's a defender on her soccer team, and her other defender is the girl she's played with. Now she's in her third year, but that girl's a senior. Well, that girl got hurt, so Hayden had to step up and run the whole defense. So Hayden's like, I had a good game. I was like, yeah, did you guys do good? Yeah, we won and everything. And she's like, but I got something cool I got to tell you. I was like, what? And she's like, the other coach gave me a medal. And I was like, the other
coach for the other team.
The other coach for the other team came up after the game, after her team had lost.
That's my girl.
Came across the field
my girl.
and gave her like player of the game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Said, when your player got hurt, you never missed a lick.
That's awesome.
Stepped up and played. So what you guys are saying, I think it's so hard to instill in kids nowadays.
Right.
But somewhere along the line, that was instilled in you to play hard, have passion, do what you want to do. And that's what I'm trying to do with Hayden. And
you're not trying, you're doing it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
No, you are.
It's a long road.
I've got a couple of friends that are parents, and I'm like, y'all are killing it.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
It's a long, tough road, but I think, I've said this before about Hollywood a million times. Like, dude, you're a good example, right? Like, there's no, I hit the wall. Shit, I hit the wall. I just gonna go get me a job for $20 an hour. Fuck that.
No.
Shit ain't happening.
No.
We're hitting the wall and we're going.
Yeah.
We're like one of those things that hit the wall.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't you become a firefighter or a cop or something? You're like a natural born protector. And he's like, no. One, I'd be a dirty
You'd
cop.
be kind of a cool cop, though.
He'd be a dirty.
I would be.
You'd have to be a cop in South Phoenix.
Chicago PD.
Not Tolleson?
Chicago PD.
Tolleson.
I would be Voight.
Right.
Like I would be a good cop. Like I would be, the guy that's really out there trying to change everything for the better.
Wrong.
But I would also
take your money.
If I walked in on a, bus and there was, 1,000 pounds of cocaine and there was, $400,000 in cash sitting there, that every grain of cocaine would be in evidence, and they would have had $100,000 in evidence. Because 300,000 would be in my trunk.
A tax.
Because hey, you made me come in, and that could have been fentanyl, and I could have died. So I'm going to take this 300,000, put it in my pocket, and I'm going to take care of everything. So I would have.
You're talking like this, you'll end up on Trump's cabinet.
Right.
I think this week there's an opening.
I think there is an opening for national security. Hey.
I'm telling you right now, like I had one experience with that man, and you're right or wrong, love him, hate him, I don't care. I really don't care. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Like I like to hear why you like somebody, why you don't like somebody. I like to think outside the box. I like to be open-minded. But like we met him, and I was expecting like this arrogant, because all you knew was like, from The Apprentice. That's all I knew. We went to the NBC Experience in New York. You know, we're all wide-eyed and like, hey, we're on a small little TV show. He is on a small little TV show. And, you know, I'm howling in the background. Meow. Meow. And he was the most gentleman-like and generous. I mean, he walked up to us. He introduced himself. He knew his name, and he goes, "And this is your wife, Shari?"
Yes.
And I'm like
shut
up.
Yeah, he knew who everybody was in that room. And then he asked what we were drinking, and I was like, "Well, she's a Merlot, and I'm a whiskey diet." And he didn't snap his fingers and have some. He walked to the bar. He got our drinks, and he came back, set them down, and then he sat and visited with us for like 30 minutes. And when people would walk over and go, "Excuse me, Mr. Trent," he'd go, "I'm busy. I'll be with you in a second." Yeah. And he focused on us, and then it was finally like, I'm like, all right, there's a lot of people that are trying to, thank you. Thank you for your time. And there was a guy from FBU that I kind of like fanned out for a second. I'm like, oh my God, SVU. I watch that show all the time. And he was so rude to me. He was an arrogant asshole. I'm like, oh, get out of here.
Yeah. We do learn on this podcast because, I mean, we've had everybody from the kid riding today at the junior finals that qualified for bull riding out of Oklahoma to Trevor Brazil.
Right.
We've had everybody on here. And I can tell you.
And the Yates family.
Well, yeah. Twice. And so I can tell you that, man, they're just normal people.
Yeah.
You just talk to them normally, and they're just normal, good people.
If they're not normal, good people, then they're not worth.
No. It takes
their space on this earth, really.
Yeah. It takes a lot of extra energy for all that.
So you brought up anything you were really good at it but didn't have a passion for.
Mm-hmm.
How about anything you ever wanted to do but not sure if you could?
Anything I ever wanted to do but not sure I could. I wanted to
think about like, this would be really cool. I'd like to try that.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL so bad. Like have you met Hollywood? Yeah. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL so bad, like to the point where like, and back then, there wasn't YouTube or anything. So I'm like looking it up in the library about what they do. And I find out about this.
With the Dewey Decimal System?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
How about the
Did we just age ourselves? Shut up back there, 20.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, to the point of like that box thing you lay in and let the bugs crawl on them. Like I would be fine. I could do all that.
Is this where we got Fear Factor?
It kind of.
Probably.
Right? So I wanted to be a Navy SEAL so bad, and I thought it'd be so cool. And then when I was 5, I fell on a pool.
I'm thinking.
You're thinking I'm 12?
I'm thinking he's 20.
No. No, I'm like 12 when I want to be a Navy SEAL, but I fell.
And then when I'm 5, I decided I found my calling.
No. What I did find out at 12 was because when I was 5, I knocked my kidney out, and I only got one kidney.
Oh.
They wouldn't take me.
Yeah.
So that literally ruined.
Wait. I want to know, how'd you knock your kidney out?
Well, we talked about this on our last podcast. We were pretty feral when we were being raised.
Right.
We were raised on a farm.
Brandon Shelton.
Yeah, we were pretty feral.
Was feral?
Oh, weird.
Huh.
I wouldn't have ever thought about that.
I put a ladder next to a pool.
Wait, did your mom tell you could fly too?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I put a ladder next to a pool, and I was jumping off the ladder into the pool, and everything was going well.
Until it wasn't.
Until the ladder slipped, and I hit the side of the pool and ruptured my spleen. Right. And when they went in to fix my spleen, they found that my kidney had a birth defect, which thank God it all happened.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. So they took it out. And then, that ruined my Navy SEAL career. And then, and also, before it started. So, but yeah, that's the one thing I really, really wanted to do.
Right. Like and I wanted to be a Navy SEAL as well.
So cool.
And so I went to join the Navy, and we started filling out the paperwork, and
they told him he had to follow rules.
I already had a knee surgery, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, you can't. You don't qualify. You can't." And I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, I can still run like a 4.5 40. Like I'm, my knee's fine."
They did the knee right.
Yeah, I'm like, it's good, and they wouldn't let me, and so then I went over to the Marines and was like, can I join and can I be Special Forces? it's not going to be Navy SEALs, but at least it's Special Forces. And they were like, yeah. And I go, I've had a knee surgery. And that's like, they said I couldn't be a SEAL because of that. And he goes, oh, no, we're good. We just got to get your medical records. And so we filled out all the paperwork and everything. They started doing the process of getting all my medical records and it gave me a few weeks to think about things. And then I realized that I don't like people telling me what to do, and I don't like people yelling at me. And I'm like, you know what?
Married for 27 years.
Well,
Can we just ask that? Let's table that.
It's this thing right here. For some reason, when I put it on this finger, when I go to say or do something stupid, it smacks me. So I went back and I talked to the recruiter for about an hour, and we talked about everything. And I was like, I just don't think that I'll make it out of boot camp. And after about an hour of talking, and he was trying to convince me that, you can do this, man. He goes, you're right. You're probably going to get court-martialed. He goes,
it's not going to pan out.
You're already too set in your ways, because I was living, on my own and I was, like you, we were raised to be adults from the time we were 2, and
nobody had to teach me how to set up the ladder.
Yeah, now
that's a rodeo kid thing too. I mean,
right.
Granted, you weren't necessarily raised a rodeo kid, but you were raised from.
But I was raised country, and
But that's a rodeo. We were just talking about that. That's a rodeo kid thing too.
Yeah.
Where you talk to them like adults, they act like adults.
Right.
Yeah. Tara Hill was in here before you guys met Tara when she left, and she said, my 10-year-old son last night was working a deal to buy another bucking bull. And he had the whole entire deal worked out and talked the guy down.
Nice. Nice. That's
up.
awesome.
Well, you tell a story about one of the twins, Sparks, about his kid bidding.
Oh yeah, we were at a cattle auction, and that kid would bid on things,
It was
it's like
Sparks' kid.
Donnie would allow him to bid, every now and then. And but he would always try to sneak it in without Dad seeing it, and he would just kind of like this or something, but but yeah, it's like when you're raised right, you're an adult a lot younger, and
you have
so he ripped up my papers, and I didn't join the service. Now, many years later, it's like I go do USO tours and AFE tours, and
tell you he texted me from Poland.
Yeah.
He told me he didn't have cell service.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, weird.
He texted me from Poland. He runs into
this guy.
He runs into my brother-in-law in Poland, and they send me a picture. I'm like, what in the hell's he doing over there?
You got a brother-in-law in Poland?
Yeah, he's got a brother-in-law in Poland.
Is he in the military?
Yeah,
he's
they
let him in.
Yeah, they let him in.
Yeah,
he had both kidneys.
But yeah, so it's like, so I do that kind of as a repayment for ripping up my papers.
That's pretty cool.
And now, as I'm older and I understand why they do the things that they do in boot camp, I'm like, well, I could join now and, go through it, because I would be like, yes, sir, I understand. I have a respect for it, and I understand why they do it, but that's back then. He goes, yeah, we can't tear you down and build you the way we want to, because you're already so set in your ways, and so, it's like, but
boost him up, you're already built.
But yeah, so yeah, that's same love, like I wished I could have been a Navy SEAL.
So cool. Yeah. I wanted to do that so bad, but oh well.
Yeah.
Onward and upward.
Another lifetime.
And to all our military out there, thank you so much for everything you do, because you guys are incredible. And, I'm blessed to get to go overseas. I've been 12 times, and it's because I want to support y'all, and I thank you for everything that you've done.
I love when he brings up the fact that all the freedoms we have, we don't realize they have no freedoms. All of our military, and I love when you bring that up, because you get to see it. And I was a military wife. I was a Marine wife for 7 years, but I never really saw that side of it. I was an officer's wife. I didn't see that side of it.
Right.
You get to see the enlisted and the freedoms they give up. Like, they are told when to eat, when to sleep, when to wake up, when to exercise, what to wear.
How to do their hair.
They give up their freedoms so that we have the freedom to do anything and freaking everything we want.
Yeah.
I love when you remind people of that.
Yeah.
That's a really strong point.
And going both ways. The freedom is just not for a certain party affiliation.
No, it's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
Yeah. And if you disagree with me, that's great.
That's not just
you should. You are a lady. That's the freedom.
Citizens, our our freedoms are what other people covet. That's what other people want.
That's what they want. That's why
Did you hear the Canadian Prime Minister the other day?
No.
He basically said they are the superpower. They are what everybody else wants to be.
Right.
We are going to work with whoever we need to work with to straighten these tariffs out.
Right.
We're doing business with them.
Right.
Nice.
And
as we should be the superpower.
Yes.
When we're no longer the superpower and we're just kind of like, man, we can do whatever we want because the U.S. isn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
And
our military is working way too hard to protect our country.
The thing that breaks down that superpower is when you give awards for nothing.
Yeah.
Those participation awards, no. If you want to be great at something, be great at it and work hard at it. And if you don't, you're a loser. And you know what?
Circle that back
it's okay.
Rodeo.
It's fine
People need to be in the rodeo life.
Yeah, be in a rodeo and realize that you work hard, you win, you get the gold buckle, you get the money, you get everything. You get the glory. And if you don't, you are a loser and you go
and
home.
You paid for it.
And you
paid to show up.
Yeah,
and you didn't win anything.
You paid and lost money. So go home, practice, get better, and then come back and win. That's the way America was built. And if you don't like it, get the hell out of our country, because this is supposed to be the country of winners. So be a winner. And if you're not a winner right now, work harder to be a winner.
Not saying
and don't complain about
just work harder.
Being a loser. Work harder, be a winner. And if we're all winners, guess what? The country's stronger. We're stronger. We're a better thing. The country wins. The world wins, because now you have somebody that, like all the other children, somebody's in charge and can go, children, settle down. Right. We're not going to do that. We're not going to fight. You go to your corner. And, when you
come out when you want to get along.
Yeah, when you want to get along, then you can come and have dinner.
Yeah.
Until then, you don't eat.
You have siblings? Do I? Yeah. Well, you only have one child, right?
Not one child.
I've always said it.
Not when you can all get along. Yeah. It's like, where'd that come from?
Yeah. I mean, I have siblings.
Yeah.
We used to punch it out. Oh my God, dude! You and Shay Hillenbrand need to go on tour doing motivational speeches. You know who Shay Hillenbrand is?
Not. Okay, we just had this conversation yesterday that I'm not the typical rodeo wife.
Okay.
I know nobody. I know nobody. Okay, good. Even better.
Diamondbacks.
I'm not expected to know them.
Yeah, Diamondbacks, Boston Red Sox, and I will give you a quick overview. How many million? Yeah, 20 million in the pros, can be backed up. I mean, it's no bullshit. He made this. Went from 20 million in the pros to trying to kill himself by taking a bunch of ibuprofen or some shit like that.
Right.
And drinking vodka on top of it. Sitting in a van.
I do that when I go out.
Well, let's not do it a lot.
That's probably not going to do the trick.
Let's not do it a lot, right?
Just saying, PSA.
And all it made him do was pass out.
Right.
Right. And it was all when he woke up, he said, I'm not going to do this anymore. Like, I can't be drinking. I can't be, just partying like this. And he got his life together. And now that guy's a motivational speaker. He got his kids back. He said the lowest point in his life was he made $20 million in the pros and had to scrape change out of his cup holder in his piece of shit van to buy his kids pizza. Right? To buy his kids pizza. So they even wanted to hang out with him at a park.
Right.
And he said that was it.
I have goosies.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Out there in Gilbert.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
And she just happens to be a realtor in Scottsdale.
That's awesome.
And he's currently with his jumping horses in Europe.
Now tell me
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Is that crazy or what?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, this guy
Yeah.
and you traveling the country doing motivational speeches.
I would love to do that.
You got to meet this guy,
You know,
Shea Hillenbrand. He is awesome.
I mean, as you're talking about that, you know, like we were after having.
Is that that's an Arizona native name, I think.
I'm married.
Yeah,
okay, because so I'm Combs, right? So there's Combs, there's the Hillenbrandts,
Dobson,
Riggs.
Yeah.
Those are all farm
Stapley.
families.
Stapley's. Yep.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, continue on, sir.
Thank you.
She's new to podcasts.
I know I'm married. I understand. So, but no, when you were telling that story, you know, it's like, you know, I had a hit television show, the #1 hit television show on NBC. Living the high life. We're loving life. We're doing anything we want. We have a driver. We have everything. Canceled. We had spent a bunch of money. Also had given a lot of money away to other people to help them stay afloat because it was 2008 when everybody else was crashing. Yeah. And so we were trying to help everybody because, you know, come third season, I'm going to make way more. And I'm going to, you know, so just give me money. What do they need? 2,000?
I'll make more.
There you go. Yeah. I'll make more, you know. And then we were broke, and it was like, oh shit, you know. And
how does that work? Do they just call you one day and say
they just called and said, hey, we got canceled?
Oh fuck.
And I'm like, wait, well, what? I'm like, wait, I need one more season. I've
already spent that.
I've already spent that money. And you know, and we couldn't file bankruptcy because, you know, she was on a trust with the family that was taking care of a lot of other things and taking care of mom. And, you know, so it's like that would have screwed that up. And so we're like, well, we don't want to, you know, put anybody else in bad position. So we'll just figure it out. And we moved back to California because she got a job offer back with her old boss. And, you know, so we went back there. We lived broke.
Well, he had an agent that said, if you were back in LA,
if you're back in LA,
auditions every day.
Because you kill in rooms.
And so it's like, I went back. It was nice money, but I went back. I knew.
She's a smart negotiator.
24/7. I knew this surgeon was going to be like.
Because as I go, just remember who you're going back to work for, that monster.
He's a great surgeon. Yeah. But he was literally like, it was.
And so she called him back.
3 a.m. Why are you not responding to emails?
Right.
It's 3 a.m.
So she called him back, goes, okay, the 2 girls that you just fired, I'll take both their salaries. You'll pay for our move and you'll pay for our rent. Oh, yeah. This girl's a negotiator. So we go back there. We live broke. If we can't walk or ride bikes, we don't go. And we lived broke for 5-6 years. We built,
it took us about a year or two to get on our feet.
But we, 5-6 years later, she gets in a fight with the boss.
Seen that one coming.
He writes her a check to.
I'll tell you though, most of my fights, first of all, the auditions, I'll have you in auditions every day.
Never got.
He went on one in 1 year. So don't listen to
so
your
that
agent
sucked.
So anyways.
My manager sucked. I fired her.
But
my manager cost me Thor. Fired.
Hard, pass. Anyways, most of my fights are going to be, and I'll tell you this, 100%. If you know me, most of my fights are going to be because I'm defending someone. Mm-hmm. I will defend you, and I will defend you, and I will lose friends, and I will be hated forever, but I will defend you. And that's basically, I worked for somebody that was trying to like, hey, I'm going to take everybody's vacation time away, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. I'm like,
you can't do that.
You can't do that.
I will tell you this 100% about you, Shari. You hang out with some people that I don't necessarily like. I see them on social media, but that has nothing to do with me, right? Who you hang out with is none of my business.
It doesn't say who I am.
Right. But what I can tell you 100% certainty, no one in that room will talk shit about me when you're there. Because you're my friend.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing.
I thought about that. Like to my own demise.
And talk shit about that person you hang out with that I don't like. You wouldn't let me do that either.
Right.
That's just a good person.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're that meme that says like nobody's talking bad about my friends when I'm in the room.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that says a lot about you. And your husband's cool.
He's the same way too.
100% he is.
As a married couple, right? Like you're supposed to have that spouse's back. And I'll say, I don't like that girl. She does this. Or
No
does that.
way
Or,
you say
I
that.
don't like that guy. He does this or does that. And he's like, nothing. Like, he won't say anything. And I'm like, don't you agree with me? That's it. That's what I get.
Right.
He will not. So, and I will say, and I told somebody this the other day, I strive every day to be a better person like him. People think he's like this big, arrogant, and he is the one that will not
He's a big softy.
He won't talk bad about people.
No, he won't.
Oh, he cries
He's
in commercials and movies.
He cries.
Yeah, he sends.
Did he cry in The Notebook?
I never
still
saw
cry.
it. Never saw it.
You read the book,
But I read the book over her shoulder, and I cried.
Sobbing, shoulders
plane.
rocking. I'm like, pull it together.
Get your shit
I was
together,
coming,
man.
dude, I was coming back from Kuwait.
Get your shit together,
I was coming
man.
back from Kuwait. Hadn't slept in 10 days. Like I couldn't
Oh, he
get
was
on the right
tired.
schedule.
This is where this is going. I was
So
so
I
tired.
was exhausted. I'd been up for 10 days, basically, like a little 15-minute nap here, 10 minutes there. But I mean, I really hadn't slept in 10 days. We're flying back from Kuwait, and I'm sitting next to a general, on the plane, and I'm watching War Horse, and I just lose my shit, sobbing, shoulders rocking like in the other movie, just
What dreams may come.
yeah.
Watch it.
And I mean, just and the general's looking, and I go, "I'm sorry, man, I haven't slept in 10 days." And the horse, and he's like, "I get it, brother. I've been there.
I get it, brother. I get it.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, here's a big, bad, tough wolf, 240 pounds, 6'3", just sobbing like a freaking woman, on,
I don't think
yeah, it was, but it was good,
There's a time and place.
We got off the plane and hugged, and it was all good.
Oh, wait, let's talk about that. So get off the plane and hug. Like, he's Mr. Love. ELE.
Everybody love
Big Kenny,
everybody.
Big Kenny, right?
Yeah.
ELE, man, everybody love everybody, right? That is Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood was raised by a single mom. He's an only child. Like, love everybody, share everything. And I'm like, no, this is mine. Like, we're so different, right? So we're here in Vegas. This is 2019. We're here in Vegas with Ross Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And we're out on Fremont
Mr.
Street.
Selfie.
Mr. Selfie.
Mr.
Ross
Selfie.
Hill. He rocked my world leaving. Pour one out for him, man. I'm telling you. He rocked my world leaving this universe, but he was a good dude. And another positive energy, man. Everything was positive, right? So we're down on Fremont Street. We're having a great time. We all go to the bathroom. The guys all go in the bathroom. I don't know. Guys, I guess, do that now.
Weird.
And so us girls go in the bathroom. Well, there's some girl I walk by. Now, Brandon, if I have one or two drinks, I might get a little lippy.
A little.
I might start something.
All in fun, though.
All in fun. So we walk by this girl, and I'm Hollywood's wife, so I'm kind of decked out, and we're walking by this gal, and she looks at me kind of sideways, and I'm like, nice face. That's all I said. 2 words.
Which is actually a compliment if you think about it. I mean, she gave a woman a compliment.
If you break it down,
Yeah.
It's all in context.
compliment.
So we go in the ladies' room. We come out. This girl's waiting for me, and she throws her drink on me.
Ooh.
So now it's on. Like, she heads out, and she runs out of the casino.
She runs
She did.
out
She
the casino.
runs. Well, now I'm with my friend Gina Kraut. Now, I don't know if you know Gina Kraut or not, but
yeah,
Gina
I
Kraut's
know
about
Gina real well.
5'11".
Gina's like 6 foot.
Yeah.
And she's cowy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this girl hauled bulls for
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Like, she.
Gina, we called Handy.
Yes.
That's what we handy.
Yeah, she's handy.
Yeah.
So Gina, and I'm like, what just happened to me? Why
And
me?
Gina's like, I'm
Nancy
about ready
Kerrigan?
to show you.
And Gina's like on her tail, on her 6, out the casino.
So the girls are all running down the street to fight.
She grabs her by her ponytail, and you need to apologize to my friend.
Yeah.
And she makes this girl,
Or get you some new
she
teeth.
holds her by her hair and makes her apologize to be out front. These guys, Ross Hill, Hollywood, Coy Kraut, and some new best friend they just met in the men's room.
He had just come back from overseas. He was
Seemed like a nice guy.
military
They're
guy,
hugging
great
it
guy.
out.
We're
They're
hugging it
making
out in the
friends.
bathroom. Thank you for your service. So
And all this shit's
yeah,
going on
and
outside.
the girls are outside fighting, and we're hugging in the bathroom.
Perfect.
Like
Living your
hey,
best life.
they're living their best life. It's like
Endeavor.
come out and it's like, let's go.
Hey, let's talk about Coy Kraut. Stud.
Stud.
Yeah,
We are so, and wait, can I just say this?
Say anything
You know
want.
what his nickname is?
Huh.
Amongst the moms,
What?
all the moms that have been around since he was born, pumpkin butt.
Pumpkin butt.
I like
like
that out there in the world.
Big shout out to Pumpkin Butt.
Big shout out to Pumpkin Butt.
You are ruling it.
Man, I really like that kid. I
He's
like
a
his
handy
style.
kid.
He's kind of throwback.
He's throwback when it comes to the bullfighting. Fights like the old school guys like me and all the guys that
I like him because he fights like me.
I like him because he fights like me, though. But not exactly like me. But but that old school style, like you're saying.
In close.
But he's a good man.
Oh, he's a good.
He's
raised
a
right.
good man. He was
Rodeo
raised
kid.
right.
Just
Him
rodeo
and his
kid.
brother,
Raised
boys.
by the lady that
Yeah.
chased the lady.
Yes, down the street, and
You're gonna apologize to my friend.
yeah, and Coy, and his dad,
Oh, yeah.
Luke, great bullfighter, worked, several circuit finals. I don't know how many worked the Dodge National Circuit finals, so it's
Good
like,
time.
yeah,
A good
and
time
a
to
good
hang
time to hang out, a good time to hang with. But both those boys, Boyce and Coy, are just
He's killing it.
great kids, yeah, and that's the cool thing too. Boyce went his own route.
Yeah.
He went bareback and moved to Texas on his own, and and he's killing it. Texas.
Coy's Oklahoma.
Coy's back over in Oklahoma, and so it's like they grew up and they left home. They left home, y'all.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Don't be a 40-year-old man living at home
In your mom's basement.
in your mom's basement, talking to me on the internet, telling me I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You are living with your mom. No.
I would have roped that steer.
Yeah.
I know you would have.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy watching Coy
He's
freestyle.
great.
But I really enjoy watching his cowboy protection.
Oh, yeah, he's great at cowboy protection.
As far as I'm concerned.
And as a wife, really, I'll be the first one to say I am not a true rodeo wife. I don't live it. I don't know it. I know what my husband shares with me. I watch my husband. I watch what he does. But like him, I can watch him in the rodeo arena, which is my favorite place to see him. Like, I love the Toby Keith tribute. There's some things that's cool about his career. He's done some good things. But as a rodeo clown bullfighter, like he even says to me, he goes, everything slows down for me. Like, it slows down for me and I know where to be. And that's what Coy knows how to read bulls.
Yeah.
He's got such a knows how to read cattle. He's got that cow sense that a lot of bullfighters do not have.
You see Coy, I could send you a couple videos later. I could find them on YouTube.
Right.
And you'll see Coy, he'll be here and the same bull, making the same action. Some of these other bullfighters have made 3 circles around it.
Right.
And they didn't need to.
No.
You know what I mean? He uses energy when we need to use energy.
Right.
And that's the smooth in and out. You had it. Bumgardner had it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you did.
Well, and it'll give you it'll give you a longer career too, because you're not wasting.
No, I don't need a vest.
Yeah.
No, I'm cool. I'm gonna go freestyle my bulls now. Yeah. Vests are so restrictive.
Yeah, they're so restrictive.
For us chicks.
Yeah.
Like that.
That guy was tough as shit.
Oh,
I thought I was gonna have to fight Greg once, and I was just like,
threading it.
This is not going to be fun. It was 93 finals, and Dwayne Hargo and I both had just shit bulls, and they stood in the corner. We were in the 60s, like 68, 69, and all the other guys were like high 70s, maybe 180 something. And as we're walking out, I'm walking behind the judges, and I'm cussing them. I'm cussing them down the hall, like going, I guess NFR stands for no, rookies, and, this and that. Well, I wish I had a gold buckle so I could climb a fence and win the round, and Greg had won the round. And I realized Greg was standing right behind me.
Oh,
and so when we walked in the locker room, I spun around as quick as I could, and I'm like, hey, I was just venting to the judges. I didn't mean anything by it, but, and he goes, oh, I didn't hear. What did you say?
Nothing.
And I'm just like, well, shit, now I got to say it. And so I told him what I said, and he got mad. He's like, I didn't climb the fence, and we went back and forth, and he's like, you get here tomorrow, we're going to watch the tape. And we watched the tape, and I was wrong. He didn't. He just kind of did this little shuffle move on, touching the fence, but he didn't get over it. So I'm like, all right, and, but yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to fight this man. And, I'm not scared to fight any man. I've never lost a fight, but this is going to hurt. even if I win,
That some bitch
is gonna hurt, like, and
yeah.
but man, I love
Ronnie and
that.
Donnie
Love that
Splar.
guy, Ronnie and Donnie. I am so lucky. When I came into this sport, I came in and I got to work with legends that weren't even, the guys that we think of legends now, but I mean, I came in and I got to work with Chuck Henson. I got to work with, the Clark brothers, met them. I didn't get to work with them, but got to work, around them. They came in something, but so those guys, then all the other guys, that I got to work with that are now legends, the Sparks brothers, Rumor, you know, just a great group of guys. And then now I'm still rodeoing and I get Rick Chapman and, Eddie Hatfield, just a bunch of great guys. And then
Don't forget my
now
boyfriend, Tim Tatum.
and Tim Tatum. And now I get to work with the younger guys, the next generation, I mean, shoot, I've actually worked with two more generations besides those guys. I'm working with the sons of the guys that I got to work with. And like Coy, I get to work with Coy, and it's so cool. So it's like the length of my career, I've got to work with, the absolute best of the best through generations, and that's what's really cool is to see how the sport's evolved, how some of it's stayed the same, but some of it's evolved and changed a little bit.
That's pretty cool. Well, they're flagging us down over here. Wait, hold on. We got a question.
Yo, Mom, we got some questions that we got to ask you.
Okay.
So there's a guy.
He did do
Washington
OnlyFans.
High School, Coach Frankie.
Coach Frankie, he's he got me out of high school because I got kicked out of so many damn classes, and Coach Frankie would always, smooth things over
with like 32 ounce or 64 ounce, Jack and diets.
So, but yeah, Coach Frankie was very influential in my life.
I remember as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. I came in there, dude, and Coach Frankie said, "Stop." Made everybody sit down in the gym, and he's talking to Don, and hey, how's it going? Everything's cool, and we're sitting there, and Don leaves, and we're all like,
how old do you feel right now?
He's like, yeah, that guy right there, man, is a hell of an athlete and is a party animal. Dude, he's saying you're crazy.
I love Frankie. I love Frankie.
Hey,
and
we reached out to Coach Frankie when I started bodybuilding,
Yep.
for training and tips and things. Yeah, that's like cool. That man.
Yeah, great guy. Matter of fact, I think I texted with him like 6 months ago. So I still talk to Coach Frankie. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You remember that? I was just a little kid, man.
Yeah.
I remember Don
Well, being as I am a werewolf and I have lived for 400 years, it doesn't offend me so much that you're saying.
No, not that you're saying you're a kid. Exactly.
You know how I know this interview's over?
We're out of whiskey.
I'm out of whiskey.
All right. We're gonna let him go, but before I let him go, Hollywood, you do a lot of interviews, right?
Yes, I do.
I do a lot of interviews. You claim to not do any interviews.
I do.
I think you stole the show.
Great. She did. She stole the show.
Did she steal the show? Craig films a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
I'm shy.
You were awesome.
I'm just Hollywood's wife.
No, you're not. You are Shari Yates.
All right. Well, we're gonna let you go. We're all done with Shari Yates and her husband. All right. Boom, we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
See ya.